Hello, and welcome to BananaLyfe. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic that affects both our planet and our pockets: food waste. Reducing food waste is not only an environmentally friendly practice, but also a great way to save money and ensure that more food reaches those in need. So, let's explore how we can make a significant impact by reducing the amount of food we waste. Before we jump into the tips and strategies, it's important to understand the magnitude of the problem. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, approximately one-third of all food produced globally is wasted. This amounts to about 1.3 billion tons of food each year. In the United States alone, it's estimated that up to 40% of food goes uneaten. This wasted food represents a massive loss of resources, including water, land, energy, and labor, not to mention the financial cost. Food waste occurs at various stages, from production and processing to retail and consumption. However, a significant portion of food waste happens at the consumer level. That's where we can make the most immediate impact by changing our habits and being more mindful of our food choices. Reducing food waste starts with how we plan our meals and shop. Take some time each week to plan your meals. Look through your pantry and fridge to see what you already have and make a list of the ingredients you'll need. Planning your meals helps you buy only what you need, reducing the chances of impulse purchases. Once you have your meal plan, create a detailed shopping list. Stick to this list while shopping to avoid buying unnecessary items that might go to waste. While bulk buying can be cost-effective, it can also lead to waste if you can't consume everything before it spoils. Consider buying perishable items in smaller quantities to ensure you use them before they go bad. Stick to your shopping list and resist the temptation to buy items that aren't on it. Impulse buys often lead to overstocking and eventual waste. When shopping, check the expiry dates on perishable items to ensure you have enough time to use them. Choose items with longer shelf lives when possible. Seasonal and local produce is often fresher and has a longer shelf life compared to imported items. It also supports local farmers and reduces the carbon footprint associated with transportation. Proper food storage is key to extending the life of your groceries and reducing waste. Store fruits and vegetables in the appropriate sections of your fridge. Some fruits, like apples and bananas, release ethylene gas, which can cause nearby produce to ripen faster. Keep ethylene-producing fruits separate from other produce. Store dairy products and meat on the lower shelves of your fridge, where temperatures are more consistent. Use airtight containers to prevent cross-contamination and spoilage. Bread and baked goods can be stored at room temperature for a few days, but will last longer if refrigerated or frozen. Use airtight containers or plastic wrap to keep them fresh. Store leftovers in clear, airtight containers so you can easily see what's inside. Label them with the date they were prepared to keep track of their freshness. Keep pantry staples like grains, pasta, and canned goods in a cool, dry place. Use airtight containers to protect them from pests and humidity. Extend the life of fresh herbs by storing them in a jar with a small amount of water, like a bouquet, and cover them loosely with a plastic bag. Alternatively, you can chop and freeze herbs in ice cube trays with a bit of water or oil. One of the best ways to reduce food waste is to use up what you already have before buying more. Get creative with your leftovers. For example, use leftover roasted vegetables in a frittata or add them to a salad. Turn leftover meat into a sandwich or stir-fry. Soups, stews, and casseroles are also great ways to use up various ingredients. Don't throw away stale bread. Turn it into breadcrumbs, croutons, or bread pudding. You can also use it for French toast or panzanella, a bread salad. Overripe fruits might not be great for eating fresh, but they can be used in smoothies, baked goods, or homemade jams. Freeze them for later use in smoothies or baking. Save vegetable peels, ends, and scraps to make homemade vegetable stock. You can also use bones from meat to make bone broth. Store these scraps in the freezer until you have enough to make a batch of stock. Designate 1 or 2 days a week to create meals from whatever is left in your fridge. This can be a fun and creative way to use up ingredients that are nearing their expiration date. Mindful cooking and portion control can significantly reduce food waste. If you're cooking for 1 or 2 people, consider cooking in smaller batches. This way, you can avoid having large amounts of leftovers that might go to waste. Be mindful of portion sizes when serving meals. Start with smaller portions, and if you're still hungry, you can always go back for seconds. This helps reduce the amount of uneaten food on plates. When trying new recipes, consider scaling them down if they make more servings than you need. Alternatively, plan to freeze half for future meals. If you enjoy batch cooking, make sure to portion out and freeze meals that you won't eat within a few days. This way, you can enjoy homemade meals later without worrying about spoilage. Practice mindful eating by paying attention to your hunger and fullness cues. Avoid distractions like TV or phones while eating, as this can lead to overeating and wasted food. Even with the best efforts to reduce food waste, there will inevitably be some scraps and leftovers. Composting is an excellent way to turn these food scraps into nutrient-rich soil for your garden. You can compost fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, eggshells, tea bags, and yard waste like leaves and grass clippings. Avoid composting meat, dairy, and oily foods, as these can attract pests. There are several methods of composting, including traditional compost bins, worm composting, vermicomposting, and bokashi composting. Choose the method that works best for your space and lifestyle. If you have a backyard, you can create a compost pile or use a compost bin. Turn the compost regularly to aerate it and speed up the decomposition process. If you live in an apartment, consider a small indoor compost bin or vermicomposting setup. If you don't have the space to compost at home, look for community composting programs or drop-off locations in your area. Many farmers markets and community gardens accept food scraps for composting. Reducing food waste is a collective effort, and spreading awareness can help make a bigger impact. Share what you've learned about food waste with friends, family, and colleagues. Encourage them to adopt some of the practices you've found effective. Many organizations work to recover surplus food from restaurants, grocery stores, and farms and redistribute it to those in need. Support these initiatives by donating food, volunteering, or spreading the word. Advocate for policies that support food waste reduction at the local, state, and national levels. This can include legislation that encourages food donation, reduces barriers to composting, or supports sustainable agricultural practices. Join or organize food waste challenges in your community. These challenges can raise awareness and motivate people to adopt new habits to reduce food waste. Choose to support businesses that are committed to reducing food waste. This can include restaurants that donate surplus food, grocery stores that sell imperfect produce, and companies that use sustainable practices. Now, let's delve deeper into practical tips and strategies to reduce food waste at home. One key area to focus on is understanding food labeling and expiration dates. Many people mistakenly throw away perfectly good food because they misinterpret the labels. Sell-by dates are intended for retailers and indicate when a product should be sold or removed from the shelf. These dates are not related to food safety. Best by or best before dates indicate when a product will be at its best quality or flavor. Food past this date is still safe to eat, but may not taste as fresh. Use-by dates are the most important for consumers and indicate when a product should be consumed by for safety reasons. Understanding these labels can help you avoid discarding food that is still safe and edible. Another important strategy is to get organized in the kitchen. Keep your pantry, fridge, and freezer organized so you can easily see what you have. Use the first in, first out method, meaning you use older items before newer ones. Keep track of what needs to be used up first by placing those items in a designated spot. Make a habit of regularly checking your fridge and pantry for items that are close to their expiration dates. Plan your meals around these items to ensure they get used up. Using clear containers can help you see what you have at a glance and reduce the chances of food getting lost and forgotten. Label containers with the contents and date to keep track of how long something has been stored. Cooking in bulk and freezing meals can be a great way to save time and reduce waste. When you have a busy week ahead, it's tempting to resort to takeout or quick, less healthy options. By having home-cooked meals ready in the freezer, you can enjoy healthy, convenient meals without wasting food. When freezing meals, make sure to use freezer-safe containers and bags. Remove as much air as possible to prevent freezer burn. Label everything with the date and contents so you can keep track of what you have. You can freeze a wide variety of foods, including soups, stews, casseroles, cooked grains, and even baked goods. Just be mindful of the texture changes that can occur with freezing and thawing. For example, cooked pasta may become mushy, so it's often better to freeze pasta dishes with the sauce and cook the pasta fresh. Repurposing leftovers and food scraps is another excellent way to reduce waste. Leftover vegetables can be used in a variety of dishes, such as stir-fries, omelets, or salads. You can also blend them into soups or sauces. Stale bread can be turned into breadcrumbs, croutons, or bread pudding. Overripe fruits can be used in smoothies, baked goods, or homemade jams. You can also freeze them for later use in smoothies or baking. Vegetable peels, ends, and scraps can be saved to make homemade vegetable stock. Simply collect these scraps in a bag and store them in the freezer until you have enough to make a batch of stock. Bones from meat can be used to make bone broth, which is both nutritious and delicious. Meal planning and portion control are also crucial in reducing food waste. When planning your meals, be realistic about how much food you and your family will eat. Avoid over-preparing and over-serving, which can lead to leftovers that go uneaten. Start with smaller portions, and if you're still hungry, you can always go back for seconds. This helps reduce the amount of uneaten food on plates. When trying new recipes, consider scaling them down if they make more servings than you need. Alternatively, plan to freeze half for future meals. If you enjoy batch cooking, make sure to portion out and freeze meals that you won't eat within a few days. This way, you can enjoy homemade meals later without worrying about spoilage. Practice mindful eating by paying attention to your hunger and fullness cues. Avoid distractions like TV or phones while eating, as this can lead to overeating and wasted food. Reducing food waste also involves being mindful of how we consume and dispose of food. When dining out, be mindful of portion sizes and consider sharing dishes or ordering smaller portions. Bring home leftovers and plan to eat them within a few days. Many restaurants are now offering smaller portion sizes or half orders to help reduce waste. When ordering takeout or delivery, ask for minimal packaging and utensils if you don't need them. This helps reduce the amount of single-use plastic that ends up in landfills. If you frequently have leftover food from dining out, bring your own reusable containers to take home leftovers. This can help reduce the use of single-use packaging. In addition to reducing food waste at home, we can also make a difference by supporting organizations and initiatives that work to reduce food waste on a larger scale. Many organizations work to recover surplus food from restaurants, grocery stores, and farms and redistribute it to those in need. Support these initiatives by donating food, volunteering, or spreading the word. Advocate for policies that support food waste reduction at the local, state, and national levels. This can include legislation that encourages food donation, reduces barriers to composting, or supports sustainable agricultural practices. Join or organize food waste challenges in your community. These challenges can raise awareness and motivate people to adopt new habits to reduce food waste. Choose to support businesses that are committed to reducing food waste. This can include restaurants that donate surplus food, grocery stores that sell imperfect produce, and companies that use sustainable practices. Another impactful way to reduce food waste is by getting involved in community gardens and urban farming projects. These initiatives often focus on sustainable agriculture and can provide fresh produce to local communities. Volunteering at a community garden or starting your own can help you better understand the effort and resources that go into growing food, making you more mindful of waste. Many community gardens also offer workshops and educational programs on composting, cooking, and preserving food, which can help you develop new skills to reduce waste at home. Incorporating technology into your efforts to reduce food waste can also be beneficial. There are many apps available that can help you track your food inventory, plan meals, and find recipes to use up ingredients before they spoil. Some apps can even connect you with local food sharing networks where you can donate or receive surplus food. Using these tools can make it easier to stay organized and reduce waste. Finally, let's talk about the importance of cultivating a mindset of sustainability and mindfulness around food. This involves being aware of the environmental impact of our food choices and making conscious decisions to reduce waste. It also means being grateful for the food we have and recognizing the effort that goes into producing it. By fostering a deeper connection to our food, we can develop habits that reduce waste and promote a more sustainable lifestyle. Reducing food waste is a collective effort, and spreading awareness can help make a bigger impact. Share what you've learned about food waste with friends, family, and colleagues. Encourage them to adopt some of the practices you've found effective. Advocate for policies that support food waste reduction at the local, state, and national levels. This can include legislation that encourages food donation, reduces barriers to composting, or supports sustainable agricultural practices. Join or organize food waste challenges in your community. These challenges can raise awareness and motivate people to adopt new habits to reduce food waste. Choose to support businesses that are committed to reducing food waste. This can include restaurants that donate surplus food, grocery stores that sell imperfect produce, and companies that use sustainable practices. Thank you for joining me today on BananaLyfe as we explored ways to reduce food waste. By planning our meals, storing food properly, using up what we have, practicing mindful cooking and portion control, composting, and spreading awareness, we can all make a significant impact. Let's work together to create a healthier planet and a more sustainable future. If you found this information helpful, please share it with others and consider subscribing to BananaLyfe for more tips on living a healthier, more sustainable life.